Love will bring sustainable, long-lasting, positive change. On our journeys of self-improvement, we always think about hard work, discipline, grit. You gotta push, you have to endure, you have to, all these hard things, you know? And those are great. They bring good results, they build character, but you have to look around the world and you have to see that majority of things are hard. Most people are suffering. Most people are pushing themselves. There's a lot of hardness and stiffness in this world. So when we look and we turn our attention towards the opposite of hardness, which is softness, compassion, love, understanding, there's a lot there. It's removing the negative lens in which we see the world and ourselves, and we put on the new lenses of looking out into all things with love. And then that changes how things see us, how the world sees us, the things that we attract, how we feel, our relationships, all things change through love, but the love has to start within you. It has to start with the way that you treat yourself. How do you speak to yourself? When you look in the mirror, what are the words that come up, that consistently come up when you see your physical body, when you see your face, when you see your hair, when you're not having a good hair day, when you're breaking out, when you might be a little bit bloated from overeating? What do you tell yourself? Are you consistent with your positive self-love, or is it inconsistent based on the outside world? And that's where a lot of the game starts to come into play, where we think we're self-improving because we're doing all the things, but we're doing all the things because it's conditional. So when you don't meet those conditions, you don't love yourself. When you don't meet those conditions, you beat yourself down and you start to go into the shame spiral. And then you take a lot of steps back, and then the cycle continues and repeats. So we stop going through this pain cycle when we start to love ourselves more, when we start to have more compassion and love in the times that matter, which is the times when we mess up. It's the times when we might be a little bit more tired, when we might have fallen back into a certain reaction or personality trait or habit that doesn't serve us. Have more compassion in those times. Because when you choose to show up compassionately, you'll start to see everything in a different light. And you'll start to pick up the certain bits of wisdom and understanding and deeper knowing of yourself to actually change those things for good. You start to break this cycle when you start to see yourself and act from places of love. For instance, I made a commitment that I was going to start posting on YouTube every single day, 7 days a week. And by the third day, I stopped posting. And I was like, are you serious? Like, by the third day, you couldn't stick to your goal for even a week? 3 days is insane. And I went into oh my God, I'm already giving up on myself. Maybe this is not for me, all the thoughts. And then I was like, wait a minute, it's okay. I'm in the process of doing something I've never done before. How can I expect myself to show up in this perfect godly image, doing everything I need to do on point, like a freaking superhuman? I'm getting there, but I'm not there yet. So I have to have love and compassion for myself. And when I remembered that, I just had an instant aha moment, beautiful shift, a beautiful flow of energy into me. And I was like, I'm learning. I'm in the process of learning. At least I'm doing my best. At least I'm trying. At least I made the commitment, and I did 2 days. It's better than no days. And I'm gonna try again because I love myself and I'm not gonna give up on myself, and I know that I'm learning. And this false image of perfection can be one of the biggest dampening, heavy things on our path of growth, because we're constantly seeking this image that's not real. Who created the thought of perfect? Humans are not perfect. We were not put on this earth to be perfect. Because you're in a physical body, that means you're not perfect. Because you're here on earth with this brain, this mind, this body, that means you're imperfect. Humans are imperfect. God is perfect. And that's why we try to emulate the energy of Christ, the energy of God, so we can strive to be more perfect. But in our natural essence, in the world that we live in, we are imperfect. We have to learn to love our imperfections. We have to learn to love the places where we're not whole, where we are jealous, where we have self-hatred, where we self-sabotage, where we judge, where we do all the things, all the imperfect things that Jesus did not do. It is through those character qualities where we learn to reflect more of perfection, because we do it through love, because we become more loving. And it is only through awareness where you can become more loving, because you have to first become aware of where you're not loving. And only when we are unloving, when we have hatred in our heart towards other people, towards ourselves, it's simply because we're unconscious. We're not aware of the part of ourselves that's playing out these patterns and these cycles. We most likely learned from this damaged world, from the media, from our parents. We learned it from somewhere. We didn't learn it from God. We didn't learn it from nature. We learned it from some earthly, imperfect program. So the more conscious we become, the more loving we become. Because to be conscious means to be present. And to be present is to be in the perfection of this moment. And love is available in every moment. Love is the present moment. To be in love is to be present with wherever you're at, whatever you're doing. It's to be present and to take a deep breath and recognize you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to be doing, processing through exactly what you need to be processing through, and becoming exactly who you're meant to be. It's all a divine story. It's all in divine alignment. But we have to continue to see ourselves. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself in the ways where you are not being loving, in your thoughts, in the way that you wake up, what time you go to sleep, the foods that you eat, the people you hang around with, your priorities, your lack of planning, your lack of whatever. Become aware of those things and realize the places in your life where you're not acting out of love. And when you begin to implement more love in those areas of the mind, the body, and the spirit, daily lifestyle choices, daily habits, everything begins to change. And you begin to create this lightness in the way that you go about your day, in the way that you handle conflict, in the way that you handle misfortunate events. Misfortunate, that is a word, misfortunate, unfortunate, whatever. Start to change your reality when you show up with more love. And it is through this changing of reality, it is through this love where we continuously evolve. And we evolve in a way where it sticks, it's tangible, it's palpable, it's embodied. It is us. It is truly us. It is not the ego. It is not someone else's story. It is not anything else beyond our highest truth. It is what God wants for us, is to step into love and our process of growing and making the money and finding the soulmate and having the dream body. God grants those things as you fall in love with yourself. God helps those who help themselves. I am a firm believer in that. And we help ourselves through falling in love with ourselves, through being more kind and compassionate to ourselves, especially in the moments when you want to be the opposite, when you want to judge yourself, when you want to have shame, when you want to beat yourself up, when you're in the self-sabotage spiral. That is the time where you practice the unconditional love, where you take a moment to pause, to breathe, and to change the way that you show up, to have grace for yourself, and to allow yourself to restart in a moment. You can restart in a moment. You can shift your awareness in a moment and come back to love, come back to the highest choice, and come back to the truth, okay? Love is the answer to change. So I hope that this video gave you a little bit of inspiration to be more loving to yourself, more kind to yourself, more compassionate, and more importantly, to deepen your awareness. Try to be present throughout this day. And as you become present, use your breath. And just remember to infuse the moment with love. Shower yourself with loving energy, loving affirmation, loving choices. And then the next moment unfolds with more love. And then you just begin to live a life of love. And it's so amazing. And you deserve that. You're worthy of that. Everyone is. But you have to remember it and you have to become it. Okay? I love you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Much love, many blessings. Leave a comment if you enjoyed this video or a like. I'm posting every day, so I'd appreciate some energy exchange, okay? Much love, many blessings. Until tomorrow.